Hey guys, okay, so today I'm going to be doing my Allegiant book review. I finally finished Allegiant. Yay! So this is my book review. Obviously, if you haven't read Divergent or Insurgent, you should read those. They're awesome. So, obviously, going to be spoilers, so if you haven't read Allegiant, stop watching. Come back later when you have finished Divergent and Insurgent and Allegiant. Okay, so with Allegiant, I really liked this book. I was really worried about how it would go or how it would end, just because sometimes the third book in the series, it is sometimes not as good as the other ones. I guess, for example, for me, like, Mockingjay was a huge disappointment in the Hunger Games trilogy, so I was really hoping, like, please, Rowling Roth, don't screw it up. I loved Divergent and Insurgent, so I was really excited to see her take on Allegiant. Okay, so we get to Allegiant, and it's basically when they're finding out Triss has just released Edith's prior video saying that there are people beyond the barrier. There's people beyond the wall. And so Triss and Four go out to experience what's happening. And so what they realize is they go to this place called the Burrow, which is where the Allegiant are. I mean, not where the Allegiant are. Where the Allegiant are is it's a separate rebel group led by Marcus Eaton, Tobias's dad, or Four's dad. And so they go to the Burrow, and they realize that these are the people who've been living outside the Fringe. And they realize that these people seem to be like, oh, we'll take care of all your problems. Which normally when that happens, they're corrupt. They're not going to take care of all your problems. They're just going to create more problems. And we learn that they're obsessed with genetically pure genes and genetically damaged genes, or GD or GP. So, anyways, throughout this book, Triss and Four go through a lot. Triss basically realizes that she's GP. This is why she can go through the simulations without having, she's really aware of them. And then Four realizes that he's GD, he's genetically damaged. He thought he was Divergent, but he's actually not. This was a big twist for me because this whole time I was like, oh, they can connect over the Divergence. So awesome. And then I realized that, and then when Four realizes that he's not Divergent, it's weird because his whole life he's felt like, oh, I can relate to Triss on this. And he feels like he thinks less of himself. And I felt like that was a really interesting twist I didn't see coming. So I thought it was really cool how Triss was there for Four and was just saying, I still love you the same. I don't care whether you're genetically pure. To me, I still love you, and you're just the way you are. And I just love you. So I felt like that was really sweet. I first want to talk about their relationships. I loved Triss and Four's relationship throughout this whole book. It was awesome. It was sweet. It was heartbreaking. The ending. Oh, I'll get to that in a second. I thought it was really, really sweet. I really loved their relationship. How they were always supporting each other and being there for each other. I really liked their relationship. I liked a lot of the characters got some good development. Like Christina got some good development. She became closer to Four and closer to Triss. Even Caleb got some development. I am not a big Caleb fan. I think Caleb is a coward. I mean, he portrayed his own sister. Like, who the flip does that? Just crazy people. Not a big fan of Caleb, but seeing parts of the events towards his eyes, betraying his sister, siding with Janine Matthews, whether or not to sacrifice himself to get rid of the death serum. It was really interesting to see his point of view. Uriah was the main disappointment for me because in the second book, he's a big part of it. And then we get to Allegiant, and then, like, towards the middle of the book, like, a big experiment goes wrong, and a bomb goes off right where he was. And then he just ends up brain dead in the hospital. Like, what? I didn't really like that. I thought that was silly. He needed to have a lot more development. I wanted to see more of his character in the book and how he reacts and how he interacts with Triss and Four. I didn't like how he was just killed off so soon. And I figured he would be killed off because authors love to kill off their favorite characters. For example, Finnick. And for example, Newt. you know, screwing over my favorite characters, Gale, killing Ethan Wade. You know, just I figured that was going to happen, but I was kind of upset that his character wasn't more developed. And seeing how he's not even going to be in the first movie, he's really only going to be in like 1/4 of a movie, which is better than nothing. But he's probably my secondary. He's probably like my favorite secondary character. So I was sad that he didn't get a lot of development. Oh, another thing. I loved how Veronica Roth did this book and the perspective of Tristan 4. I loved Free 4. I liked the ebook, The Transfer, from Four's perspective. I think it's great that we get to see something from Four's perspective. Just because we've only seen things through Trish's eyes, and it's nice to see the events from Four's eyes, just to get a different perspective. And I really like that. I thought that was really smart. And I think that was a really good decision to do. Another interesting thing that happens is Four basically joins this rebel group within the borough. He meets this girl named Nita. I think that's how you say her name. I think that's how you say her name. Nita. It's interesting because at first you're like, no, Four, you, Four and Tris, 4+6, no. And then it turns out that Nina is actually even evil, and she is only in it for herself, and basically Tobias gets wrapped up in this scheme, and which ends up costing Uriah his life, which is sad, and he does with horrible guilt, which, I can understand how he would feel that. I mean, he didn't, it's kind of like the whole Gale didn't mean, it was like Gale was in the wrong place at the wrong time, Four was trusted the wrong people at the wrong time, caused Uriah to die. So I thought Nita was a good character. She was interesting. So I really liked her. But yeah, I thought that this was a really good book. The deaths, Tori's death was sad just because, everything she did was for her brother George Wu, who she thought Jean Matthews has killed. And then comes to find out, Four and Tobias and Christina, not Four, Tobias, same people, Tris and Christina and Uriah and Four, they all go to the borough. Turns out George Wu's actually alive, same as Four's instructor Amar is actually alive. And so it's just sad how she traveled all that way, went through so much, and was so distraught over her brother dying that he was actually alive the whole time. That was really sad. I was like, gosh. So yeah. But the death that affected me the most would have to be, a major spoiler alert, have to be Tris's death. I was not expecting that at all. I figured people would die, but I was just sad to see Four and Tris's relationship end. Tris was such a great character, and I just felt like, really? Like, there was no one else who could take her place? Like, seriously? It just was so emotional. It's because when she realized that her brother was not sacrificing himself for the right reasons, he was just doing it just to get rid of his guilt, and not because he truly loved his sister, that was just heart-wrenching. I was like, Veronica Roth, my heart has been, stamped upon, crushed, and it's, hurting so bad. I'm like, why, Veronica, why? It was so sad. I definitely shed a few tears. It was just sad because, Tobias didn't even get to be with her. I realized what was going on. He was off trying to stop people's memories from being reset. I just found that really sad. And one, since I felt like she did it because she truly loved her brother, didn't want him to die, and she loved everyone else, that she didn't want them to die, but I just figured Trish went through so much, and it wasn't like, yes, the death serum was affecting her, but then it was shut off. Turned out it was that snake, David. But, it just was sad to see how she died from bullet wounds, and she didn't even really get to stop anything from happening. It was just so sad. And the way, oh my gosh, whenever Four went to go visit her body, I was so destroyed. Her death probably affected me as much as Four's death. As Finnick's death did. It just tore me up because Veronica Roth, lifts you, she just, builds you up for their relationship. And you're like, yay, Four Tris, yay, Marion, yay, babies. And then she just dies. And it just was just horrible. And it just really made me angry how, Caleb did not deserve to live. I'm sorry. He did so much crap. And a lot of it was just inexcusable. And it just made me angry how Triss had to die. I realized that you have to, shock the reader, and I understood that Triss was doing it for the right reason. She truly loved her family. She truly loved Tobias. She truly loved her brother Caleb, and Christina and all her friends. But it just was really killer that she had to die. I was really sad. So that was just my one main disappointment, which is the death scene. I mean, I know not everything's supposed to be happy, but I mean, Uriah suffered a horrible death. I mean, being brain dead. Ugh. Tori died. So many other people died that it just was sad. So yeah, so the one positive thing was towards the end, I did like how Tobias and his mother's relationship was able to be better. Her mother decided to, act better and be a better person and leave the city, and then they came back eventually, but sorry. But yeah, so I just felt like I liked the ending of it, and I loved how Christina was really there for 4. I liked their blessing relationship, because Christina really understood what it meant to lose someone that you loved. I mean, she lost Will in the first movie, and Tobias was just asking Kara, Will's sister, and Christina, like, how do you cope with someone's death day by day? And I loved how Christina was like, you know what? You choose to get up every day, and you deal with it, and you move on with your life, and grieving is a normal process. I really liked it. So again, Allegiant was really good. I highly recommend it. It was a good end to the trilogy. I'm really sad that it's over. It's just sad that it has to end, but it was a great book series. I just want to thank Veronica Roth for writing it. You were so talented. I cannot wait to read the rest of your stuff. And again, what did you guys think of Allegiant? Did you like it? Did you like the ending? What were your thoughts? Again, thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Tumblr, AllisonYouth1. Just Allison Youth. And again, have a good night, guys. Good night.